She stood at the iron gate like she owned it, her arms crossed, chin up, shouting loud enough for the whole street to hear. "You can't park that here. This is a private community, turn around." The black man in the driver's seat leaned out his window. Calm, steady, but his jaw tightened. "This is my mansion. That's my gate. You don't tell me where I can or can't park." Her laugh was sharp, ugly. She pulled a folded paper from her purse and slapped it against the gate. "Not anymore. HOA rules. You've been reported. Step out of the car before I call security." Neighbors peeked from their lawns, phones already out, whispering. The man slowly opened his car door, his shadow stretching across the driveway. "You're calling security?" he asked, voice low but cutting. "Lady. You have no idea who you're talking to." She didn't flinch. Instead, she whipped out her phone, dialing fast. "Oh, I do. And when the patrol gets here, you'll be in handcuffs for trespassing. Watch me." The man stepped closer to the gate, his eyes locked on hers. "You're making a mistake you can't undo." She smirked, lifted her chin again, and hissed, "No mistake. You're about to learn who runs this neighborhood." But what she didn't know. The sound of heavy engines was already rolling in from the street behind her. She kept her smug smile fixed on him, pacing near the gate as if she had already won. "My guys are 2 minutes away," she bragged, waving her phone. "You'll regret stepping foot here." The man didn't answer, he just looked past her, his eyes narrowing at the street corner. A low rumble grew louder, the kind that shook the ground before it reached you. At first the neighbors thought it was garbage trucks. But when the first matte black SUV appeared, tinted windows gliding like shadows, people froze. Another followed. And then a military green armored truck rolled into view. Karen's smile faltered. What is this?" she stuttered, clutching her fake paper tighter. The man finally spoke, his voice steady. "Those aren't your guys. They're mine." Doors opened in sync, boots hit the pavement. And 6 men in tactical gear stepped out. Not rent-a-cops. Not mall security. Real soldiers, with posture sharp as steel. Eyes locked on Karen like she was nothing but a target. One of them, taller than the rest, barked into his radio, perimeter secured. The neighbors gasped, pulling their kids closer, phones trembling as they filmed. Karen spun in circles, trying to keep her fake confidence. This is illegal. You can't bring military here," she shouted, but her voice cracked. The man didn't move closer, he didn't need to. He simply crossed his arms and said the line that made every bystander hold their breath. "You wanted to call security?" "Lady, I train security." Karen's face went pale, but her mouth kept running. No, this is intimidation. I'll have you arrested." She waved her paper again like it was a weapon, shoving it toward the soldiers. "This notice says you're trespassing. This whole property is under HOA control now. You don't belong here." The tall soldier at the front didn't even touch the paper. He just gave a sharp laugh. Then pulled something from his vest, a sleek black folder with an embossed seal glinting in the sun. He handed it through the gate to the men. "Sir, your clearance." The man opened it, just enough for the cameras around to catch the gold lettering. Department of Defense, Special Operations Command. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Karen's hand shook as she pointed at it. That's fake. Anyone can print that." She stammered, but her voice betrayed her. The man's calm broke into the faintest smile. "Fake? Lady, this clearance built this house. You think I need your permission to step into my own home?" The soldiers spread out now, scanning the neighborhood. One raised a tablet, showing a live feed from hidden cameras around the property. On the screen, the neighbors could clearly see Karen earlier that morning, ripping down his mailbox. Plastering fake eviction notices on his front door. Even trying to shove the lock with a screwdriver. The man turned the tablet toward her. "You didn't just lie. You committed federal crimes. On camera." Karen's mouth opened, but no sound came out. For the first time, she looked small. The silence around the gate felt heavy, broken only by the whir of the soldier's tablet as the footage replayed. Karen's face was right there on the screen, angry, sneaky, caught red-handed. Neighbors gasped louder, some whispering, some recording even closer now. One woman muttered, "She's finished." Karen tried to recover, snapping her head toward the crowd. "Don't believe this. He's staging all of it. These aren't real soldiers, they're actors." But her voice was shrill, panicked. Nothing like the confident bully from minutes before. The man finally stepped fully through the gate, his boots crunching the gravel. He didn't shout. He didn't need to. His calm cut sharper than her screaming. "Actors," he said quietly. He nodded toward the armored truck. The back door opened with a metallic slam. And two more men climbed out, dressed in official U.S. Marshals jackets. The crowd erupted, phones shot higher in the air. Neighbors whispering, "Marshals." "Oh my God." Karen staggered back, her fake notice crumpling in her fist. "This isn't happening," she whispered. You can't just bring the government down here because of me." The man's smile vanished. "I didn't bring them here because of you. They were already here, because of what you've been running." Her eyes widened. "Running? What are you talking about?" One marshal stepped forward, pulling out a stack of documents with her name all over them, HOA funds. Missing money, fake security contracts. The soldier's voice was ice cold now. "Karen, this wasn't about a gate. You've been stealing from the whole community." Karen froze. For the first time, she looked like she understood she was surrounded. Karen's knees buckled as the marshal read off charges, his voice echoing across the stunned neighborhood: fraud, impersonation, embezzlement. The fake notices she had shoved into dozens of mailboxes. The fake security fees she had collected. The private bank account, it was all laid out, undeniable. Neighbors who once whispered in fear of her now whispered in disgust. One alderman shook his head. "She made us pay her hundreds every month. And none of it was real." Another neighbor shouted, "She threatened to tow my car." The crowd's anger grew, but the soldiers held the line, calm and firm. Karen dropped the crumpled notice, tears streaking her face as handcuffs clicked around her wrists. She twisted toward the men at the gate one last time. Voice breaking, "You ruined me. You don't understand." He stepped closer, his tone steady, almost heavy with finality. "No, Karen. You ruined yourself. All I did was show the truth." The marshals led her away, her screams fading as she was shoved into the back of their vehicle. The soldiers began loading back into their trucks, the rumble of engines filling the silence. But before leaving, the tall soldier saluted the men. A silent respect between warriors. The men turned back toward the gate, scanning the crowd. His neighbors stood frozen, ashamed, some even nodding to him for the first time. He took a deep breath and spoke, not loud, but enough for everyone to hear. "I didn't fight for this country to be told I don't belong on my own land. This home is mine. And from now on, nobody is going to take that from me." The crowd went quiet, the weight of his words settling in. Phones stopped recording, not because the show was over, but because they knew they had witnessed something bigger, a crooked empire collapsing in the light of truth. And as the convoy rolled out, leaving behind nothing but stunned silence and a man standing tall at his mansion gate. One thing was certain. The HOA queen who once ruled the neighborhood had been dethroned for good.